This podcast is part of the Famous Original Podcast Network family. You can find us by going to www.fopnet.biz.
All over. It contains strong language, strong opinions, and strong beer. It is not meant for children or for those who think they are children. You know who you are.
Trust me, I'm like a smart person.
Welcome to the final episode of Dumb All Over. Recording from the shittiest state in the country. That's the fucking point I've tried to make for over 100 episodes. Pennsylvania. This is a progressive podcast with brash opinions on politics, religion, and pop culture. And for the last time of this show, I'm Tom. And I am joined by the devilishly handsome, multi-talented editor and everything of the show, especially today, Austin.
Oh. Boy, when you said devilishly handsome, I was like, who else is going to be on the show?
Just us, two ugly baboons. That's it. It's all you got. And thankfully, it's an audio podcast, so no one knows unless you were with us from the very, very beginning.
Yeah, or happen to watch the midterms thing,
or that. I forgot we did that.
Or watch Tom's Twitch channel.
Or Austin's Twitch channel.
So
you
lots of
probably
places.
know what we look like, and if you don't, it's your fault. You had your chances.
Yeah, had your chances, yeah.
And you still do.
Actually, none of those things are stopping.
Nope. We might have accidentally just caused half of our audience to crash their cars when I said the final episode. So while you're digging your weightless body out of the car, let me explain to you quickly, and we're going to go and talk about this later on too. But this is the final episode of Dumb All Over.
It's really weird to hear it out loud.
I know. I was thinking about that before. It's like, man, that's going to be weird to say.
It's going to be weird to say, yeah. And it was.
The show is going to be the exact same way that we always do the show, but we will have a full explanation and reasoning and everything of our future and all that at the end of the show. So make sure you listen to the entire show today. I know you never do, but today's an important one. Okay.
And by the way, you should have been that whole time because we always made fun of individual people at the end of the show. So.
All the time. That's always been my favorite part of the show because it's
we just zero in on like one listener.
Yeah.
Just trash them.
Just trash them and fuck with them and let loose, and our professionalism just disappears toward the end there.
At the end it disappears.
I literally curse in the first 12 seconds of the introduction today.
Also, by the way, for people who are listening, we didn't actually do that, so don't go back and be like, what the fuck did I miss?
Yeah, we did. And you're gonna have to go back and listen. And you have plenty, over 100 hours worth of material, by the way.
Way over 100, yeah.
So I kind of feel bad for the person, if there is one, that's just found this show out last week, and they're like, yeah, I'm gonna listen to them now, woohoo, and then they're like, oh, okay. Well, you know what, listener, it's your fault. You're the reason why we broke up. You've caused a divide between Austin and myself. Hey, Austin, I hate you.
Yeah, I know.
It's just like Styx, you know, like
I'm like Styx.
Yeah, or the Police, or any other failed 80s band. Like the Talking Heads. Anyway, Austin.
By the way, can I just say how ridiculous it is that you mentioned Styx on the Police in the same sentence?
I don't like either one. I'm not
it's
a
like,
big
look,
Police
I'm not
fan.
a huge fan of either one, but the Police are just objectively better.
Yeah, I agree on that.
Okay. All right, then
I
we can
agree.
move on.
I just don't like. I have never once sought their music out. Like
when I was in high school, I listened to a couple Police songs, and then after I heard the ones I liked, I got tired of them.
The last time I sought a police song out was during a drinking game in college. We decided to play like our version of a 1 minute power or something. No, a power hour, I think it is, where it's like music continuously plays and every time it stops, you have to drink, and it happens a lot. I think that's the way it went.
Okay.
I don't remember because that game is really bad for your liver.
Yes.
But I decided to tell my friends, hey, let's play that with the song Roxanne. Every time Sting says Roxanne,
Wow, how are you still alive?
you take a sip. Yeah, so the night was going really well until then, and then after that, I literally ruined the party because everyone was just so fucking hammered, puking outside.
You could play the same, like you could do the same thing with every time he says sending out an SOS at the end of Message in a Bottle.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's now I remember why I don't like the police. I was thinking, like, why don't I like them? But now
I imagine I probably feel about the police the same way you feel about U2. It's like there's a couple songs that are okay, but not a huge fan.
Exactly. Yeah, that's how I feel about them. Yeah. But you hate U2, so what are you talking about? You don't like any of their songs. Name a song that you like. Name a song that you like.
Actually, Bloody Sunday's not bad.
That's one of the ones I like too. It's like the most different of their songs. Yeah. Or one of.
I just don't like them.
This is an extremely professional podcast, so we must get back to it. Don't mind me. I'm going to take a hit from my, what is this called? It's not, what would you call
this? It's a vape pen.
That's all it is?
Yeah.
Even this one?
Yeah, even that. I'm not quite up on the terminology because it's not, it doesn't look like a pen.
No, but it works like a pen.
Yeah.
Does it? Not really. Anyway, what are we doing?
But you know what? No, I'll do this for the final time, even though we haven't done this in fucking forever, but I feel like it's good to bring it back. So I am actually drinking a craft beer for this last episode. I know.
Wait a second. Didn't we stop that in like episode 90?
Yeah, we stopped it a while ago. Yeah. But I brought it back for the last one because fuck it.
Well, good for you.
Yeah.
I know. When I saw you pouring it, I don't know why I just acted surprised. Like I know he poured it. Yeah. But by the way, most of that time of the reaction has all been fake. I just wanted to go ahead and ruin that for everyone.
That's also true. Yeah, we almost always drank it before we started recording,
and we knew exactly what we were drinking. We knew exactly how it tasted.
I have to say, in the beginning, in the beginning, we genuinely didn't for a lot of them.
That's right, because we used to try out a lot.
Yeah, after a while, we bought out the entire Weiss inventory.
Right. Yeah, we started trying new stuff, and then we realized which ones we were going to get again, and we're like, all right, we know what this tastes like. I don't know why but we're surprised. Yeah.
And basically, those ones we got again were almost always Weyerbacher.
Yeah, Weyerbacher.
So I figured it fitting for the last episode, I'd have a Weyerbacher.
Founders, one we were allowed to drink. We're not allowed to drink Founders still, right? They're still bad.
I'm still boycotting them, yeah.
Damn.
But yeah,
so what are you drinking?
This is Weyerbacher's Quad.
Oh, cool. It's one of my favorites.
It's a Belgian-style quadruple ale.
Dick.
I feel like a perfectly fitting beer for the last episode would have been their Imperial Pumpkin, but fortunately it's not that time of the year.
That's true.
That's not. Actually, somewhat ironically, they actually do come out with it in July.
Really?
Yeah. Because the demand is so high that they have to start making it early.
I got you.
And I also, the other one I was thinking was the Sunday Morning Stout, which they didn't make this year.
No.
They made They made a salted chocolate pretzel version.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Which I have a crowler of upstairs. It's very good.
Listen, I'm really high right now, so every time you talk about food, it's just making me want to eat and eat and eat and eat. It's not fair, man.
But anyway, so
I mean, not high, because Pennsylvania. Yeah.
But I'll do a cheers, even though Tom doesn't have a drink. We'll pretend he does.
I have water.
Water, perfect. All right.
So we'll do that.
Ready for the cheers?
Wait, no, I don't have. You have 2 cups.
I got 2 cups.
Perfect. I mean,
what?
we're gonna.
What? We always actually cheers across the internet. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Yeah. By the way, normally it's one of us with 2 cups. But anyway, ready?
Here we go. Cheers.
Oh, that sounded like concrete.
Well, this glass is really full.
I see that. Cheers, Austin, to the final episode. Oh, let me start because this craft water. Oh. So good, rich in flavor.
I mean, to be fair, Nestle did want it.
And for those keeping score at home, the ABV is 0. So, it's a little strong.
Okay, my turn now. the one with the actual beer.
I mean, this is pretty much like a fucking Bud Light. Let's admit.
That's
right?
true. Yeah, like I would know the difference. Yeah,
no difference. Except this tastes better. All right, go ahead.
I suppose. Yeah.
I suppose. What are you talking about?
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. So this Belgian quadruple ale is unbelievably good. It's still my favorite. I've had a couple quads from different companies. I've even had quads from Belgium that I don't like as much as this. I don't know. It's everything. It's not like a Belgian triple is usually a little bit sweeter than a quadruple.
Okay.
And so this one, I don't know, just everything just balances perfect for me. And
nice.
I love it so much. And for the people playing at home for the last time, even though we haven't done this in forever.
For a long time.
The ABV on this is 11.8%.
Is that all? I haven't had a drink since like February. No.
That's going to change on Thursday.
Yeah, tomorrow. Literally tomorrow. I know. Well, I might behave because I have to drive. So I might have to behave. Or I might just leave my pets at home and crash at your house. We'll see.
That's fine too.
Well, that's good. You got your beer. I got my water.
So
and
happy.
I got my
I've missed this very much.
Yeah. It's been a while.
Because to be honest, I haven't. I went to Weyerbacher yesterday and had a drink, but before that, I haven't had craft beer. I don't know, in a couple of months maybe.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, the pot really.
It's so much better.
Yeah,
it's so much better. It's so much better. I do not miss having hangovers. I used to say to people that I didn't get hangovers, but what I realized is I was in a perpetual hangover. So, I felt like I didn't get hangovers because that's the way normal felt.
Yeah. Well, it's like, what did Archer? No, an Archer. They asked him if do you think you're just going to have one hell of a hangover when you're done with just drinking all the time? Mm-hmm. He's like, that's what I'm afraid of. So I'm not going to stop drinking because I'm afraid the collective hangover would kill me.
Yeah, they probably would.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that show in a long time. Is it still on?
Oh yeah, they're in space this year.
Okay. All right. For the final time on Double Over History, let's enter the. Do you still have the sound file?
Oh, you want to do the Trump report?
Yeah.
All right.
Why not?
I'll find it.
Why not?
Yeah.
All right. The Trump report.
Have I done a good job?
Not at all. Probably the least of anybody you've ever met.
There's nobody that understands the horror better than me.
If Ivanka weren't my daughter, perhaps I'd be dating her.
I don't know. Figure it out. All right. So here's the thing. I don't know what politics are anymore. It's been a while. I've been dealing with other things, not dealing with, just doing other things, and then subjecting myself to the misery of the world. So with that said, that happy little moment out of the way, Austin, what have I missed in the past month of politics?
Well, you've missed a lot, but let's just start with today. Then we'll work our way backwards.
Okay, we can do that. That's fine.
So today, a special counsel, a former special counsel,
yes,
of Robert Mueller.
Yeah, of Robert Mueller? Is he from Robert Mueller?
From the comments are from Robert Mueller.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, you got to follow the sentence. Blaze it.
What? What sentence? What sentence?
A special counsel Robert Mueller, in his first public comments on his 2-year investigation surrounding President Trump and his campaign, said today, when we're recording this.
Today's Wednesday? Oh, shit. I thought it was Tuesday.
that his office did not charge Trump with a crime because it was, quote, not an option under Department of Justice regulations.
Okay.
Mueller, in a dramatic appearance at DOJ headquarters. Okay, hold on. I'm just going to take a break from this article for a second.
Okay.
Writers at the Hill. It couldn't have been less dramatic. He was at a podium and stumbled over every other word. I could see why
was it bad? Was it bad? I didn't see it. I just heard about it.
It's a man who obviously is not used to making public summons. That's all.
Yeah, probably doesn't actually want to be doing this.
No, he didn't. And he read from his speech, looked down the whole time, looked up a couple times to make sure people were listening, and then
or not.
Didn't take any questions.
None.
No.
Wow.
And he said literally because there will not. He he doesn't want to make any statements past what was in that report. So
okay.
He's really,
I guess that makes sense. You're saving your ass.
He's really sticking to it, yeah. Okay, so dramatic appearance at DOJ headquarters, not dramatic.
Thanks, Hill.
He said it would be impossible to bring Trump to court, and his final report clearly spelled out that investigators did not conclude that the president was innocent of a crime.
Okay.
Quote, after the investigation, if we had confidence that the president clearly did not commit a crime, we would have said that.
So he's not guilty.
I think so.
so he's not guilty, so that means he's guilty. No? Doesn't that mean that?
I think it basically what Mueller's trying to say is that if he were any citizen other than the president,
he'd be in jail right now.
Well, he'd be indicted, and most likely, yes, be in jail.
Eventually in jail, like his buddies. Okay, so now what? Like, what happens now?
Exactly. That's the same question I asked. Now, Representative Nadler in the House said that after this press conference, Congress will now investigate full force.
Wow.
Yeah.
It took that long, huh?
Uh-huh.
Interesting.
No comments yet from Nancy Pelosi as far as I could see. Excuse me.
Yeah, I mean, who cares what she has to say at this point? It's you know what she's gonna say. She's already made her point clear that she doesn't want to impeach Trump, and she doesn't want to start that shit. So
no, it's weird because
what does it matter?
One of the other things you missed is that Representative Justin, what is it, Amish,
Trudeau?
I think? No, not Justin Trudeau. He has his own corruption probe to deal with.
I heard about that, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm paying attention to Canada because I feel like I'm going to end up living there soon. So
you might want to wait because it sounds like the Conservatives might win this next election.
Yeah, most likely. Most likely.
And
with my luck.
Speaking of horrifying things that are happening, it looks like Marine Le Pen, his party, had a really good election result.
Makes sense because from what we learned from Steven, it doesn't sound like France likes Macron very well.
No, and they didn't like him to begin with. And they just elected him for fear of electing a fascist.
The other side. Yeah, exactly. And now that he's not doing, or maybe now that people don't like him, now people are going to go to the other option. Oh, we tried the other option. Didn't work. Sounds a little familiar, doesn't it?
I was going to say, which almost makes it sound like electing these neoliberal elites just delays
might not be
fascism and doesn't
idea.
get rid of it. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, exactly.
Like, what's the difference? They delayed it by 3 years, 4 years, because they're not technically up for re-election yet. But her party has a lot more power now.
I guess for someone who died in those 3-4 years, that was enough. That was like, oh, thank God.
But who knows? In that time, that person's, like Macron wanted to make cuts to pensions. He wanted to raise the price of gas and other things. That's why they have all those protests.
Right. He doesn't seem very left.
No, he was a centrist, even by American standards, I think.
Yeah, which means, that's still left probably of like an American centrist. Yeah. But I don't know. It doesn't sound like it. It sounds
like he was an American centrist, which would be a right winger pretty much anywhere else.
True. Yeah.
So, but anyway.
Yeah.
Not talking about France anymore.
Derailed it. Yeah.
That's okay. So, I'm not entirely sure what's going to happen next.
Okay.
I think the Democrats in the House are going to have many arguments back and forth about impeachment.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, like half of the 2020 possible candidates have called for impeachment.
Yeah, and Cory Booker did that as well today, right after Mueller gave his speech, if you will. And then you had mentioned that he said he is not going to testify now in Congress.
Yeah, basically he said he won't say anything further than what's in the report if he's called to testify before Congress.
I gotcha.
And he also says that he does not want to testify in an open session. So if he testifies, it'll be a closed session.
He's very, very private, very quiet about all this, which is interesting.
I think it's a bit ridiculous because what he's trying to do is play by the rules of pre-Trump politics.
Okay.
Like, we are the FBI and we're the Department of Justice. We're going to do this by the book.
Right.
You know, we're not going to. But the thing is, what he doesn't realize is that he is going up against basically, you know, somebody who thinks he's a mafioso in office and will do anything to get away with all the crimes that he's committed.
The exact opposite of playing by the book. The whole administration is the exact opposite of that.
Like here's the thing. When Nixon committed crimes, many crimes, there was a point where even he knew that he couldn't continue.
Right.
And so rather than going through the spectacle of impeachment, he resigned.
Right. He resigned, yeah.
Trump would never do that. He will fight to the bitter end.
Yeah, like, you know how, like, you always hear people, especially on social media, they'll do, like, hashtag resign and then whoever. Like a general manager of a sports team or whatever it is. It's like, you can do that and say that all you want about Trump. Trump, that's like the last thing that he'll do. And even Nancy Pelosi recently, I remember seeing this come up where she warned everybody saying that when we take over in 2020, Trump's not going to go down without a fight. Like, she warned that it's not going to be clean. Something's, and she didn't go into detail too much about it, but like, it makes you wonder. It makes you wonder, like, what they know. But,
I don't know. But, well, I mean, anybody could figure it out just by seeing what he does.
But what do they mean? Like, he's going to do like a military coup and like take over Washington, or like she's just going to like fight call for recounts and shit like that.
Well, the thing is, he and his lawyers will delay as much as they can, and then they know that if an impeachment proceeding started and the trial went to the Senate, that they won't convict. So
no, they won't.
So he's not worried about being removed. But I feel like the Democrats shouldn't care whether he's removed or not. They should impeach him anyway.
Okay. Yeah, we were talking about this a little bit before.
Because the thing is, they keep
about judges.
Well, but they keep saying, yeah, I'll make that point too later. But the thing is, even politically, they keep saying, well, look at what happened when they tried to impeach Clinton.
Right.
It made him more sympathetic to the American public. But the thing is, Clinton was already a fairly popular president.
Yeah, very charismatic.
Yeah.
Like, that was one of the big things about him, was just how charismatic he actually was, and even till today still is.
And Trump has his base, and that's it.
Yeah, that's literally it.
And they believe him no matter what anyway.
Right.
And they're already fired up. Like, they're worried about activating the Republican base. The Republican base is already activated.
Well, yeah. Well, the part that, especially the Trump part of it.
And the thing is, the people that wanted to take a chance on him have already made up their minds, too. And a lot of them are saying, no, actually, we're not going to do this again.
Yeah, I've seen and met quite a few Trump supporters of the first time around that are either questioning or not sure. And even some of them were just like, no, I'm not going to vote for him again.
Well, here's the thing.
His base is interesting.
Apart from Bush, because he launched an illegal war, almost all presidents don't do as well in the second election.
Obama definitely didn't.
No.
Yeah, that's a good example. Like, Obama crushed it the first time around, and the second time was not by any means a crush.
No, it wasn't a crush. It was still a comfortable victory by the end of the day, but it wasn't like the first one.
No, it wasn't. Yeah,
not even close. But the margins that Trump won by were so slim.
Yeah,
that any drop off is going to be a disaster for him.
Technically speaking, he didn't even win. If you
talk about the popular vote
wise, he didn't actually even win. So yeah, you're right. I mean, all it takes is a couple of those states, and you have a completely different election. And we've already seen, that Rust Belt, that same Rust Belt that turned red. Most candidates in the Democratic side are focusing on those states, and they're doing the exact opposite that Clinton did.
Yeah, except for one notable one who has pretty much employed Clinton's strategy. And now I know that when the primary started, we made a promise that we weren't going to shit talk any of the candidates. But this being the last episode, and I feel like he is a particular threat. I am about to shit talk Joe Biden.
You mean the guy who still, even with all the shit out there, cannot stop touching little kids?
Yeah, that's the one.
That guy?
Yeah.
That guy? Because another picture came out of him, like, with both hands on the backs of this young girl.
Yeah,
like,
and there were
girl.
3 women in the corner with like looks on their face. Like, I can't believe he's still doing this.
They did not seem thrilled about what was happening.
But not only that, did you know what he said to her?
No, the words. Oh no.
Yes, he said, "I bet you're as smart as you are pretty."
No, he did not
He
say
did
that.
say that.
Stop.
He said it. Yeah, to the kid.
little kid.
To the little kid. Yeah.
Austin, she's like 9 or 10 years old.
I know, and thus in his mind, like validating that beauty and intelligence are somehow like interlinked.
You don't tell a 10-year-old that you're beautiful unless it's your own kid. And to be honest, you shouldn't even be lying to your kid that way anyway, because they're probably ugly. Let's be real.
Yeah. And it's just particularly creepy for, a septuagenarian old man to say that.
Wow, that was a word. What'd you say?
A septuagenarian, it means he's in his 70s.
A Sagittarius?
Yes, a Sagittarius. That's what.
Jacob Sartorius?
Yep. That was totally the word I used. I'm into astrology now. And Jupiter's in its 3rd phase. I don't even know if those are the right. I don't even know if I'm mocking
Jupiter
it the right way.
is in astrology?
Yeah.
Wait, isn't that like Pisces and stuff like that?
Yeah, but then there's also like Saturn's in revulsion or something. I don't know. It's all bullshit.
What if it's real? It's probably real.
It's not.
I bet you it's real.
Those planets are real. And stuff does exist beyond the Earth. But that they have any significance other than the fact that they exist does not.
But they obviously do.
No, they don't.
All right. While you talk, I'm pulling up our horoscope. Horoscopes or horoscopes? What is it? Horoscopes?
Horoscopes. But anyway, so I don't know what the Democrats are going to do on impeachment.
Horoscope.com. It's a real thing, by the way.
Yeah, I know. I'm sure there's tons of them. But
when's your birthday? It's May 23rd?
May 13th.
20th? May 13th. I was close.
You weren't that far
off. Anyway, go ahead.
What was I saying? Oh, Biden. No. So Biden has pretty much employed the same campaign style that Clinton did, where he's just taking lots of breaks and not campaigning.
Yeah, and he started late.
Yeah.
But all the polls show that he's leading, by the way.
Yeah, it's funny because there was an article out also that said Biden is leading the race in every metric apart from one.
And that is?
He has, he's leading in the polls. He has the biggest donors right now, which shouldn't be shocking.
Okay.
Because he's bundling with big corporation, big corporate money. But his crowd size is very tiny.
Yeah, I've seen some of the pictures, and I mean,
and it said
there's just no motivation for it. Like he might be polling well with old people, but I mean, here's the motivation.
Thing. Yeah, but there's it, and the article was even titled like Biden, an enthusiasm gap. And I was like, I remember a front-running candidate who also had a giant enthusiasm gap that ran the last time.
Yeah.
And that didn't turn out so well.
Right.
Now, there is an argument that for Biden it might be better because even though there's no enthusiasm for him, he might garner more support.
He's a guy. He's a guy.
Yeah. And he served with the most popular president that we've had in our lifetime.
Right. In our lifetime.
No.
And he's a white old man.
Yeah.
And that has a lot to do with it, and no one in the world will be able to convince me otherwise.
But nobody wants to see him speak.
Yeah, but I mean, again, Hillary almost won, right?
Yes.
Hillary almost won,
she did.
And most people will say that she is the most unpopular candidate that we've ever seen the Democrats put up. She's one of the most unpopular politicians for years.
I know, but she also went up against one of the most unpopular just human beings on the planet.
Right. But she technically beat Trump. And that's a woman. Mm-hmm. And that's a woman who no one liked in this country. So that's why the Democrats have picked Joe Biden. They're like, oh, well, the white woman couldn't do it. So the white man will most likely be able to do it. That's the way the Democrats are thinking, and there's no way no one can convince me otherwise.
Well, no, that is what they're thinking, but they're also thinking, well, the particular white man who will make us a lot of money.
Well, of course. Yeah. Because
there are other white men they could pick.
And all the other guys, except for Cory Booker.
Yeah. Like, there's other white men they could pick, but they want the one
they want Joe Biden.
Lots of
money.
Want
Joe.
Yeah. Because, I mean, like, Beto O'Rourke definitely has a lot of...
He's still running? Mm-hmm. Really?
And a lot of his policies are bad. I'll just put it that way.
Sure.
But he does not have the history of horrible things that Joe Biden has done.
No, and he's closer to the age of a millennial. No. He's like half the age almost of Biden.
And then
Buttigieg is over half younger than Joe Biden.
Yeah, Buttigieg also has parts of his tenure that are problematic. But
I know. That wasn't an endorsement by me. It's just
no,
I
know. But I'm saying, like, they could pick any of these guys.
Yeah.
But the problem is, even those two are probably more progressive than Joe Biden. And they are just frightened that somebody's going to raise their taxes. Like, they worry about that more than anything.
Yeah.
They really don't want their taxes raised.
No.
It's very important to them to not have their taxes raised.
And I read another article, and this is from The Hill, too, which kind of turned me off from The Hill, but they were like, why Biden will win. I'm like, first of all, I don't like that you're already putting that, but whatever. I'll ignore that because everyone knows Joe Biden is the Democratic front runner. I'm using quotations.
No.
But they said another thing about him being from Pennsylvania and Hillary losing Pennsylvania. You put somebody from one of those swing states, you most likely, well, according to logic, you would probably see that state go to the person who was from there.
Except that I'm pretty sure the last poll they showed had Bernie doing better in Pennsylvania than Biden.
Oh, it depends. I don't know. I don't look at polls anymore because I saw a couple polls.
Well, but that was going to bring me to my other point, though, was that of all the things they mentioned that he's the front runner on, all of those can be manipulated apart from crowd size.
Oh, yeah.
And the only way you can manipulate that is if you pay people to be there, kind of like Trump does sometimes.
You think so?
I know so because there's receipts about people he's paid to, like at his launch event, he paid almost all those people to be there.
Man, and it was in Pennsylvania too. I could have used a little bit of money.
No, not Biden's launch event, Trump's.
Oh, well, that's okay. I could have used a little bit of money.
Yeah, but Biden, I don't think paid anybody to be there. That's why there's nobody there.
Gotcha.
And that's the one metric that you can't manipulate. You can manipulate polls like they did, in a couple polls where they didn't poll anybody under 50.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to say. It's like when you look at the stats of these polls, and then you see like
and they're
the
almost
entire
all landlines.
Yeah, landlines from old people, and the number of people who were polled were extremely small.
Exactly.
But everyone's looking at the polls and saying, "Oh, well, he's 6 points ahead of Bernie."
But that's why I'm saying
that he's only 6 points ahead of Bernie, and they're calling the people they're calling.
Yeah,
that tells me a lot more than the poll.
No, they should be worried.
Yeah.
They should be worried.
But they're not, because they think that Joe has it in the bag, because he's going to get the endorsement of Obama.
Yeah, but
blah, blah,
they
blah,
will be once the primaries start rolling around. Or even the debates. Like, the way they're doing the debates is really weird. But if...
it's annoying. It's annoying.
But if Biden and Bernie and Elizabeth Warren all end up on the same debate stage...
Which they're not going to, and I'll tell you why in a second, but go ahead.
Yeah, but if they did... Well, eventually they will, because those other candidates are going to have to leave.
Right. But for the first one.
But if they do in the first one, and then eventually when they do, he is going to look horrible compared to those two.
And they will not put Biden with Bernie or Warren, because Bernie and Warren are going to go after him.
Yeah.
Bernie and Warren will probably be on the same day, probably day two, where there's going to be less numbers. That's, we'll see.
And it's such a shame, because that is where all of the policy ideas are.
I know.
Like, Elizabeth Warren has had some wonderful policy proposals.
I almost feel like they're going to put the centrists on day one, and then like the moderate.
It's supposed to be a coin flip, but we'll see how that works out.
We all know no one thinks it's going to be a coin flip. That's why I'm trying to figure out what they're going to do. Because there's no fucking chance they're just going to be like, let's risk Biden being attacked on both fronts by Warren and Bernie. What they should do is they should take the top pollers and put them on the first day and the bottom polars on the second day. No offense, but there has to be a way to divide it. And if you're all if you put all the high polars on the same stage, then they could attack each other.
Then they'll call it, look, it's the Democrats, tops and bottoms.
There you go.
and that'll be an awkward conversation for Buttigieg.
On the top, I guess. I've seen his husband. He's definitely the top.
Wow. Okay.
I mean, Buttigieg is.
All right, that is one thing we're not going to do is speculate.
No, there's no speculation there.
No speculation.
By the way, Austin, here's your horoscope.
Oh boy,
when someone has as much compassion for other people as you do, they should use it to help them make important decisions. This is not the time to strategize your life based on money or career advancement. Think about the messages your actions send the world. Is that the real you? It's time to walk the walk, not just tell people what you think they want to hear. When you come through for the people who matter to you, you will matter more to them. Now, you know this is official because it's from astrology.com.
Also, this is how you know astrology is bullshit, because never in my life have I put my career advancement over trying to help people. Like, this is ridiculous.
Here's mine.
Right, what's yours?
You need to be patient if you want closure on an ongoing conflict. Oh, God, this might be real. It probably isn't coming anytime soon. Fuck. In part because the other person or people involved are nowhere near admitting the extent of the role they played. Okay. So instead of wondering what you can do to affect the actions of other people, which is nothing, by the way, focus on yourself, both the inner and the outer selves. Have a me day soon and do only things that you want to do.
But do you see how ridiculous that is? Because you can
I can chat with the psychic for free.
You could say that to anybody. Because had you read that to me as my horoscope, I would have thought, yeah, there are a couple people that I probably will never have closure with.
Yep.
It's like these could apply to any person.
This is the Pisces horoscope for flirting, by the way. You won't feel your opinions quite as strongly today, but that's not such a bad thing. Unless a hottie pushes you up to make up your mind about them, that could lead to utter paralysis. So try to stall.
Wow. Okay.
You're telling me I have to stall my already dead relationships? Great. Fucking great.
Well, are you a Pisces? No.
Yeah.
Oh, are you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're a Taurus. Apparently.
I am a Taurus. I'm a bull. Yeah.
Here's your flirt.
It's because they didn't have a bear.
Jealousy is never pretty, even when it's presented as the sign that someone cares. So don't be surprised if some little thing sets you off in a big way. You might have to swallow your pride and apologize later. Swallow your pride is like a good, like, gay bar name. It's like, welcome to Swallow Your Pride.
Yeah.
Like make sure you always swallow.
None of the bars I can think of, they would just call it swallows.
Oh, there's a whole thing for singles love. Power struggles have no place in your friendships.
But power bottoms might.
Know the difference between offering your point of view and peer pressuring a pal into taking your side. Let go of always having to be right. This might be you.
All right, shut up, Tom. This is nonsense, and you know it. Say you know it. Say you know it.
That might be you. All right,
say you know that it's
let's
bullshit.
See. This is my singles love.
Okay.
With work and extracurricular activities, it can be hard to focus on your relationship goals. If you're serious about finding a mate, take time out of your busy schedule to be social and set updates. This is real. I don't want to hear you. This is exactly real. This is scientific. Okay. Mm-hmm. Austin, perseverance will pay off for me, it says.
Perseverance will pay off for everybody.
Not true. Not true. Hillary didn't work for Hillary. She's tried to persevere.
No,
and she's failed.
That was Elizabeth Warren that persevered.
Listen,
Hillary actually didn't work that hard.
Jill Stein, she's always going for the presidency, and she's
not even running this year.
Because no one cares about her anymore. She ran for like 2 straight. I almost said semesters. I'm still in school mode. What happened? Why are we? Join eHarmony for free. What are you trying to tell me, astrology?
All right, so anyway, because we don't have enough time in the world to talk about Tom's dating life.
What the fuck? I have to own my sex appeal.
Sorry. That I shouldn't have laughed that hard. Speaking of sex, Missouri's only abortion clinic expects to be shut down by state authorities this week.
Okay. Not the best segue. That's a segue that I would make.
I know. I always wanted to do one, and I figured I had to do it now before the show ended.
How does it feel?
Not great.
Oh, come on. It's a great feeling. And speaking of feelings, go on with your abortion article. See? That's a segue.
Okay. All right. Planned Parenthood said Missouri's health department is, quote, refusing to renew its annual license to provide abortions amid an ongoing investigation.
Okay.
If the license is not renewed, Missouri would become the first state without a functioning abortion clinic since the Supreme Court's landmark 1973 decision in Roe v. Wade. Planned Parenthood President Lena Wen says, "This is something we have never seen before." And she calls the investigation a tactic to intimidate doctors who provide abortions. So,
I have a solution. Move out of the South. Why are you still living in the South? If you are a open-minded person, save up your money and get the fuck out of the South. There's cheap places to live up north, and we're not that bad. Like, Pennsylvania is a bad state. I'm not saying it's not.
It's bad, yeah.
But it's like, compared to the South,
It's better.
it's like a utopia compared to the South. And no, Austin,
It's just slightly less the South.
it's a lot less than the South. And the more you start to realize it when shit like this is going on, because it's not just Missouri. What else? Alabama, Georgia's in the talks of the next step. And I mean, Mississippi's going to be right there. Louisiana, even though it has New Orleans, I guarantee you, because they're a very red state, except for New Orleans, they'll be next. And like just get out, come up north, go to Canada,
or maybe I could just say this: vote.
Go ahead,
vote, go vote.
Well, yeah, but voting is fake and it's fictitious.
No, had a couple more people turned out, Stacey Abrams would be the governor of Georgia right now.
Okay, you're true. That's true. And then that would
bill would have never happened.
No.
Ta-da! Go vote.
Although I will say this, Georgia is less likely for anything to happen. Netflix, I guess, I don't know if their headquarters is in Georgia, but I just read an article recently saying that like Netflix is threatening Georgia. Like if they go through with this bill, then they're going to stop. I don't remember what the part of the stopping was.
Netflix said they're not going to produce any more shows in Georgia, but the bill is already passed and signed by the governor. The bill's already through.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
Okay. So, bye, Georgia. Come up, move.
Yeah.
Don't go to South Carolina.
And so, what the companies are doing, especially the Hollywood, because there's a lot of shows that are shot in Georgia.
Okay.
Because Georgia had a generous tax credit, because of course it's all about the tax credit.
Oh, that's why Family Feud is there. I know Family Feud is in Atlanta.
Yeah, and
there's actually a lot of shows based in Atlanta. CNN is based in Atlanta, I believe.
Even Archer is the first one I remember seeing, like the Georgia insignia at the end. It's like made in Georgia. Yeah.
Wow.
And they're apparently going to pull out soon too.
Pulling out in an abortion story.
Well, that's what made me laugh, because there was the title of an article. It was like Netflix threatens to pull out of Georgia if they don't reverse abortion bill. And I was like, what a poor choice of words.
or maybe just like the greatest choice of words ever. Oh man, it's. I'm sorry, I'm making light of this story because it's really bad. It's a really terrible story, and I know that there's that's moving out of the state's not an option. Otherwise, I would have moved out of Pennsylvania a long time ago. I understand it's not an option for everyone.
Come to New York. We're debating universal health care.
Yeah. Your mayor sucks though.
Yeah, well, luckily this actually has more to do with the governor, who's even worse.
Yeah, he sucks too.
Speaking of which, since we've recorded, our mayor has decided he's going to run for president.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot that it's been that time. Yeah.
So Bill de Blasio, which I'm pretty sure just means the bland in Italian.
In Italian. That's Italian for bland. Okay. I can see that.
So Bill the Bland is running for president. He's not going to win, obviously.
I don't know, but just explain to me why he's doing this.
I assume to raise his political profile. I'm just hoping that we get a couple more progressive policies out of it.
I don't know. I don't know what, like, you're not going to get any attention. So you can raise your political awareness.
He's not going to get any attention. I'm sorry. Are we not talking about him right now?
Yeah, because you live in New York and I'm technically a New Yorker, and people will talk about him, but they're not going to care about his policies or anything like that because he's going to poll at under 1% the entire time.
I know. I'm just hoping that like the couple months that his campaign lasts,
for you guys, that's
that
fine.
we get some good policy out of it. That's
I just don't understand like why more Democrats are just like, oh, I got a chance, I'll go. Like
that's the same thing the Democrats did or the Republicans did in 2016.
Yeah, but it turned out that a lot of them did have a chance for a while. Not a lot, not all of them. Like Carly Fiorina didn't have to join the race, but there weren't 20-something of them. There was a lot.
There were 17, 18 at one time.
Yeah, but they didn't make that to the debate stage. I don't remember there being 17 people at the debate stage.
No, because they broke it up.
Well, to 2 days?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It wasn't 2 days. Sure? It was like one right after the other.
Okay, I don't remember that.
They called it the kiddie table. Because so there was the ones who didn't poll well went on first, and then the bigwigs went on second.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I really don't remember that. And I remember I was in a political science class, and we had to watch a debate. I only saw the one with Donald Trump and Rubio, and
because the other one was pointless.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing that. So there's that.
Yeah,
and I to be honest, I'll watch both of the Democratic ones, but there's a good chance that it's going to be almost the exact same thing.
Yeah, I know. Well, the thing is, but the good news is the last time this happened to the Republicans, they won. So
I guess that's a good way to look at it.
Although if Biden's the nominee and he wins, it's not going to be that exciting. Just to be perfectly honest.
No. Yeah. No. Like, and I was having this discussion with somebody else, and they're slightly progressive. And they're like, well, wouldn't you be okay with Biden as president? I'm like, well, yeah.
Look, it would be a relief over Trump, but okay is not the word I would use.
But it's not going to be it's going to be a slightly less racist 4 years.
Yeah.
With slightly better policies, maybe some reversals of the really bad ones where even centrists are like, whoa, can't do that.
Yeah.
So yeah, things will go back to like the status quo, but there's not going to be any progress.
And
so
we're talking about the Clinton status quo, the first Clinton.
Well, yeah.
Not even Obama. Like Obama was more progressive than Joe Biden.
Right, and that's saying a lot.
Because he wasn't that progressive.
Not that progressive at all. But like, yeah, technically, I'll be okay with Joe Biden if he's the president, and I'll vote for Joe Biden if he's the Democratic nominee.
Of course, I'll be annoyed, but I'll do it.
Yeah, but I'm just not going to care. Like,
but it's just like it seems like we have a once in a generation opportunity to actually change the country.
Yeah,
because every candidate. I hate to say this, but every candidate that is registering in the polls, apart from Elizabeth Warren, would beat Donald Trump in a head-to-head matchup.
Right. Yeah. I mean, but again, Clinton was supposed to win.
Yeah, but the thing is,
so she was going to win.
The polls, when during the Democratic primaries, she was polling under Trump. Yeah, and that's why people kept saying that we should nominate Bernie because he's beating Trump in the polls.
Right, but not that. But the day of the election, there was not. I didn't see a single poll that said Trump was going to win, except for maybe a couple on Fox. But I remember specifically watching Fox,
the polls,
and their polls were showing that Clinton was going to win.
No, but the polls were right. She did win the popular vote, which is what they poll.
Right, I guess so.
The percentages of the polls by which she would win, she did. It's just that she lost support in the states where it mattered. I know. That's why the Electoral College is so stupid. Speaking of which, Nevada is the newest state to pledge their
we missed that one
Electoral College points to the winner of the popular vote.
Yep.
So,
I mean, that's closer to a better news story because the rest have just been blue states. Nevada is still a blue state, I'm pretty sure, like all the time, but that's closer.
It's definitely much more of a purple state.
Closer than the other ones. Yeah. So there's that.
There is that.
That's good. I guess that's good. I'm waiting for one red state to do that, and then I'll actually care about it.
Speaking of people who can't make up their minds, Mitch McConnell says that if there were a Supreme Court vacancy in 2020, he would fill it. Despite saying in 2016 that you can't fill Supreme Court seats in an election year.
Depending on who wins the presidency. Like if a Warren or a Sanders, somebody fiery like that wins, and let's say Mitch McConnell does that, you are risking a lot by doing something like that.
No, but you're not listening to what he's saying. In 2020, it would be Trump's pick.
Right.
Because the new president wouldn't take over till 2021.
Okay. Oh, okay. But I mean, that's... Okay.
So he's saying in the last year of somebody's term,
right,
that he would appoint the Supreme Court justice, while in 2016 saying you cannot appoint a Supreme Court justice in the last year of a president's term.
But my point still stands. What I'm trying to say is, like, if you get somebody, like, let's say that happens, and they get a judge through on his last term, even though he said you shouldn't do that when it was Obama doing it. The next president, because at that point you'll have, 3 conservative judges in, you're opening up the floodgates for a guy like Bernie or Warren or somebody who's ballsy enough to do it, to add more Supreme Court seats. We talked about this before.
Yeah, which is what I think they should do.
Right, yeah. They should do it either way.
Pack the courts. Pack them.
Right, exactly, yeah. I don't know if every candidate will do that. But if you get a fiery enough one, if you get like a Bernie's going to do that kind of shit.
But a lot of them said they would, even the less exciting ones like Beto O'Rourke and Pete Buttigieg.
Yeah, they say it, but I politicians say stuff all the time. I'm looking at like who will actually do it.
Yeah,
like Beto can say he'll do it, but will he actually do it?
Warren would
definitely,
and Bernie would do it.
Bernie would definitely do it. Harris will not. Booker probably will not. Buttigieg probably will not.
I think Harris might, actually.
I think that's the least likely to do anything, because because of the law background, the constitutional, blah 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 blah, all that bullshit. I think she's less likely to fucking.
I'm not sure, because I think she's brought it up before.
Again, they can talk about it all they want. I'm just trying to think of like who would actually do that. And I don't think she would do it personally.
I just find it mind-blowing that once again the Democrats are trying to back the worst candidate again.
I know.
Again,
I know.
It's like, despite who we support,
I know. It doesn't matter.
I think that everybody, almost everybody else apart from the bottom feeders, are better on policy than Joe Biden.
I know.
Everybody else.
I know.
So it's like, why do they keep picking the worst one?
When I accidentally hear an article or read an article about Hickenlooper, I start to hate him a little bit more every time.
Oh, yeah, but he doesn't matter.
Phil? Mike?
Speaking of which, Daniel Hickenlooper.
Daniel?
What's his first name? John Hickenlooper.
Smitty Hickenlooper.
Presidential.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, you see, it's John. Presidential hopeful John Hickenlooper.
Sure. I believe
on Tuesday called for fellow Democrats to reject socialism.
Oh.
As they seek to unseat President Trump next year.
Austin, how is he polling, by the way?
Hold on. Let me look. Doesn't register.
Doesn't register. There's 4 people, and his parents are not part of those 4. Just wanted to say that. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe you should do a little bit more research before you reject democratic socialism. Which is also funny, because I saw an article yesterday that said socialism is polling better than Donald Trump. Oh, man. A lot's probably polling better than Donald Trump. Yeah, so honest. Talk about Hickenlooper being totally out of touch. Yeah, we don't have to. There's no point in talking about Hickenlooper. But he's, not that it matters, but no one's going to listen to him about rejecting socialism. Speaking of people saying and doing really stupid things, apparently a man has lit himself on fire near the White House. I'm a Segway machine today, baby. Oh, no. No, just no, Austin. The Secret Service responded Wednesday after a man lit himself on fire
on the, what is it, ellipses? Ellipse? I don't know. Near the White House. Yeah, exactly. The agency said in its...
Grammatical humor.
Yes.
All right.
Exclamation point. Jeb, please clap. The agency said in a tweet that the incident occurred at approximately 12:20 p.m. near 15th Street and Constitution Avenue, just south of the White House.
Please clap.
Please clap.
That was like 2 hours ago.
National Park Service and U.S. Park Service personnel assisted in providing first aid to the man who set himself on fire.
Wow. Both of those rangers, huh? I guess they had nothing else going on, huh?
So it
seems not a big fishing day.
So yeah.
That many people are fishing in Washington, D.C.?
Apparently.
I guess not.
I wonder if it was just Don Jr. trying to get his dad's attention.
No, that'd be Eric. Eric or the girl. What's her name? Matilda? Whatever her name is.
Ivanka?
No, the other one. The one no one can. Tiffany.
Oh, Tiffany. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who? Her?
It was probably Tiffany. She's like, Dad, let me in. It's my house too.
I'm sorry, Tiffany. I don't even know who you are. I'm not even sure your mind, to be perfectly honest.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
No one ever said that you were actually a Trump. But Dad!
The Secret Service light her on fire.
No, she totally did it herself. It's like, I'll do it, Dad! I'll do it!
Whatever.
Notice me.
Do it.
You like that psychopath Baron? Have you ever seen pictures of Baron? I'm not trying to pick on the family because the family is the family. Except for like Don Jr. and Eric, but Baron might be a serial killer. And Jared. Yeah. All right, so the only one I'm not going to pick on too much is Baron, but I'm still going to pick on Baron because that little kid is going to be a serial killer.
All right.
Oh my God. Oh
Everyone,
my God.
sit down and shut up. We will not be talking about me anymore.
That voice since season 1. Is the fucking alt-right Jesus gonna come back?
No.
He totally should, by the way.
No, he retired. After Trump won, he did his evil deed, and now he's done.
But he came on the show post whatever. What about Jimbo McIncest? Remember him? Well, listen, that's enough fucking news. No one cares.
Yeah, it's enough already.
We're all fucked anyway.
Yeah.
Let's take a short respite. Never said respite in my entire life. That's 100% the weed talking. Like, that is not a word that's in my vocabulary. And I'm just like, I saw it in a movie. Respite.
And then we'll come back and breathe. Reprise. It's the second one. After time.
All right. We're going to be on the run, so we'll be right back. And so ends our big dumb show for the last time.
And that's actually true this time when you say that. So ends.
Yeah.
So actually does end.
This is actually ending.
Yeah.
By the way. All right, so I guess this is the part this is the part where we get all emotional and cry.
Yeah. Oh.
And
are we supposed to cry?
Mm-hmm. It was in the show notes. Didn't you see? I wrote right down there. I said, "Cry now." But it made no sense when you read the show notes because if you read ahead, then you started crying a long time ago.
That's a good point. Okay. We were never particularly good at planning things.
No. Spoiler alert number 42 of the show. We've never planned a show. Let me give you a rundown of how each of these shows worked. When we were in the same room, I went over to Austin's place and I said, "Hi." And he said, "Hey." And then we put the microphones in and talked about the news.
Well, I think you're leaving out the 2 hours we would just get hammered before we recorded.
There's that. And then there was going on Right Wing Watch and trying to pick a video. That was the most planning we ever did. And then when that became too difficult to do, we just got rid of it. Because that's kind of the truth behind the Scary Religion's Nut Job. Is like there just weren't enough videos, and we were too lazy to look for the other videos out there. And then we just were like, let's just not do this segment anymore. But it's been an interesting 2 years.
It has, yeah.
2 years.
And I'm not entirely sure we've left the country a better place than we found it. But
no, it's actually worse.
Yeah, much worse, yeah.
Actually much worse.
But I'm not going to blame us for that.
No, we're only part of
the problem.
Yeah. I mean, I was thinking about this yesterday because we had our meeting yesterday talking about today. And,
company meeting.
Our final Dumb All Over company meeting. Yeah. And we were like talking, and we actually had a few of those before when we talked about people who were going to be on the show and the direction of the show. And it just had me thinking all night last night. I'm like, in the 2 years, within that 2 years, we got to speak to Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
We did.
We got to speak to Sarah Smith and Tom Prigg and some of these geniuses, some of these beautiful minded people. It's been fun. It was really fun trying to find these smaller candidates and then have them on the show and then watch them succeed.
Yeah, who knew that one of the candidates we'd interview would be like the most known politician on the planet?
Yeah, on the planet. Like right now, definitely in the country and probably in a lot of other countries too.
Yeah, well, there's like, I bet a lot of people know two things about American politics. Trump is president and AOC is in the House.
Right. So, thinking about stuff like that, still when I tell people today, like, hey, I interviewed Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
Yeah.
People are like, what?
Yeah.
Why?
True,
Why would you have ever? Yeah. So, that was probably my favorite part of the show. So that had me thinking, what's been your favorite part or moment, maybe? We didn't prep these questions at all.
No.
So, what's your favorite moment in the last 2 years of the show?
Oh, my favorite moment, I still think, was the midterm elections.
That was fun.
That was a lot of fun.
Getting to do that live.
And that wasn't even an official episode, but that was so much fun.
Yeah. If you were there, I mean, only a few people would have really seen it, but we were on Twitch. I went to visit you in your new home in New York. We just watched the country sort of get saved.
A little bit, yeah. Or at least delayed execution.
Yeah. Enough where it's like you could almost breathe again. Because it was getting nerve-wracking. Yeah. And we're like, we need something to stop the bleeding here. And then that happened. And it's like, okay.
And I think the one moment that sticks out in my mind was the night that AOC won.
That was,
and you and I talked, I think, on Discord. Remember?
Yeah, something. Yeah,
it was just like it was unbelievable. That unfold. Yeah, unbelievable.
Giving each other updates, and she's 20,000 votes ahead now. It's like,
and I'm only like one district over from her district.
Yeah.
So for me, it was like right.
Yeah, somebody that powerful. Well, we didn't know at the time how I don't think either one of us could have successfully predicted how that would happen.
Nope.
Like what her career would be right now.
I knew that she would be great at her job.
Me too.
I did not think she would be a national force.
Yeah.
I thought, look, this is somebody that we've interviewed that we're going to know and we're going to follow her career. Little did I know, everybody will be following her career.
Everybody. We're already starting to see people talk about her as the first woman president.
Oh,
you know?
Yeah.
Like that's...
Well, people are just waiting. They're like, come on, let's get through these next...
Get older, please.
Yeah. Or let's just get through this until she's 35 and then she can be president.
It is unbelievable to think. Yeah. But we could have interviewed a future president,
Yeah.
I know that's jumping ahead and all that, but there's a chance.
Yeah.
There's a chance.
But I have to say, I think my favorite thing about the show is all of the regular people we've met.
Yeah.
Online listeners,
Have
become friends.
The community that we created.
Kind of, yeah.
And
more coalesced around us, I think.
Kind of, yeah.
They all share our quirky sense of humor.
Right. And we've become actual friends with quite a few.
Quite a few, yeah.
And those friendships are definitely some of the better moments. And I guess we should
they
also...
are going to, apparently, obviously, they're just going to far outlast the show.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
And so this show is ending, obviously. Mm-hmm. But it's there's a bunch of reasons for it. I don't know how honest we should be, but I guess I'll be honest on my end. Politics is something that's ingrained in me. I'll never be able to get rid of it. Even if like I don't want to think about politics or follow politics for a while, it's still in the back of my head all the time. But every week of doing this show meant that you had to go back and look at the worst shit possible, because these articles that we had to read are sad. We have to fucking cover every shooting. There's never a chance when talking about politics on a week by week basis where you could just breathe and you could just try to be happy. And
especially not in this country after Trump was elected. Yeah.
Oh yeah. But like, you can't even be naive. No. Like there's a glamour, in my opinion, on being naive sometimes.
Well, that's
because it's so free.
But that's where that famous saying comes from: "Ignorance is bliss."
Mm-hmm.
Because it is.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But it became too much, and you can tell the vibe was changing a little bit on the show, and you and I both tried to figure out ways to salvage it. But I think both of us, one way or another, kind of knew that the end was approaching after 2 years.
Yeah.
And listen, 2 years is no shitty achievement. We went over 100 episodes without missing a single episode. Mm-hmm. I think our first missed week was when we decided to take an actual scheduled break in January. And that was after 100, I think.
Yeah, 100, yeah.
100 weeks, almost 2 straight years of never missing an episode, which mostly is you. And most people, I hope most people know to give you the credit for that, but thank you. Because like two straight years of doing that and never missing a week. That's fucking very impressive.
Yeah, so it was a lot. But we did it.
I bet. Yeah, we did it.
I think there's some really good shit in there.
Oh yeah. Hopefully, at the end of the day, we could have lightened up your day a little bit, made you laugh, while at the same time covering some shitty shit.
Yeah.
But there's good news in this. If you're really upset that the show is ending, I understand. I don't think Austin and I at all made it known a bit that we were going to be ending the show. Yeah. It was just happened yesterday that we mutually decided, but there is a silver lining to this. I don't know how much you want to give, Austin, but you tell what you want to tell. If you want to keep most of it on the DL, do that, but I'll let you say.
Well, so this show is ending, but a show with the two of us on it is not. So basically what we're going to do is retool how the show works. And I think we're going to focus on slightly different things. And we're going to focus, my goal is to focus more on what people are doing to make the country better. And not necessarily just the country, make the world better. And so I'm hoping to focus on activism and people, in the science fields and maybe people who work inside the political system, but people who are doing things that are making it better instead of so much focusing on what is wrong. Because I think a lot of us know what is wrong with the political system. I think most people who listen to this show pretty much share our opinions on the things we say.
On most of this stuff, yeah.
Exactly.
I'm sure there's questionable shit that I say that people are like, maybe not.
But I think in broad strokes, I think they agree with us on a lot of things. So my goal is to focus more on positive things and to branch out a little more and to focus more on just humanity in general, interpersonal relationships between people, how people interact with other people. I've even thought about having on people with opposing views to talk, have a discussion. Not a debate, because I don't want to debate, but just try to understand how other people think. And so I think it's definitely going to go more in that direction.
It's a new project, but you know what? Austin and I have been doing some sort of project together for the last 5 or 6 years.
Yeah, it has been that long.
We've been working on stuff together for a while. This was the biggest project that we've ever done. But at the end of the day, it's still kind of just a project.
Yeah.
You know, we randomly decided to get this show on the road. Yeah. And when it started, and I say taking off, we never became a huge podcast by any means. Yeah. But when we started seeing numbers of like over 50 downloads in a day, we were like, what the fuck? People are actually listening to this shit? Yeah. And we just continued the project. And I have to say, it's probably the most successful project that we've worked on together. Mm-hmm. But the shit that I learned in these 2 years, I want to add this. I don't want to drag this on for too long, but I am more comfortable. As I'm trying to say this, I butcher my words.
Apparently not.
I don't know how to speak. That hasn't changed, but I'm more comfortable speaking in like a public setting, because even though this isn't a public setting, I'm in my bedroom recording this. Yeah. You know, it used to freak me out knowing that people are going to know and listen to the stuff I say. So like, I feel so much more comfortable. I've learned how to edit. Might not be great at it, but I can edit a podcast. Yeah. I understand audio and editing software and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. I never thought that that'd be a thing. You know?
Yeah, no, I know.
So the stuff that I took out of this podcast are going to be with me for a while, which is really cool. Yeah. So I'm grateful for that, obviously.
Yeah, and I think over the 2 years of doing this show, I think it's changed my life in ways that I could have never imagined. Mm-hmm. Ever imagined.
We came out on this show.
I know, and this show has helped me get other jobs. This show helped me start my career.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
it's been interesting these last 2 years.
Yeah, you know, that's a good point, Austin. It definitely you were able to show people your work and say, "Hey, I did this."
Yeah.
You know, and it also probably taught you a bunch of shit as well.
Mm-hmm. It did. Yeah. So
we've recorded over 100 hours worth of material. That's a lot. Yeah. Also, you and I have been talking about this, and now maybe this is a good opportunity to do this, but bringing back Modern History X.
Oh, yeah. I think with the new show format, we're going to have more time to do other shows, too.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm looking forward to that, because we never gave up on that show. It never fit into our schedule. Mm-hmm. And we've been collecting stories and stuff like that. So we're ready to go. So maybe that'll come back. And you're not done hearing us podcast.
No, not even close.
We're not going to do Dumb All Over anymore. It'll be a new project.
Yeah, I think. And part of me feels like covering political stories, there are plenty of people who do it really well, who do it much better than we do.
Much better.
And maybe we're a little funnier than they are. Just saying.
Yeah, sometimes.
I mean, honestly, it's hard to beat people like Chapo Trap House and The Majority Report.
And Cognitive Dissonance.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I feel like I'm gonna say this, and I know where people are gonna get mad at me, but I feel like our knowledge of politics far exceeds theirs. Like, hearing
definitely Tom's.
Well, no, hearing them talk about politics, like they don't have a grasp, like a full grasp on the candidates, what their positions are,
right?
Their past. They don't quite understand how the programs they're proposing work, and that's okay, because that wasn't their thing. Their thing was skepticism. Right. Mm-hmm. And it morphed into politics, because after Trump's election, how could, everything kind of morphed into politics. Sure. It's like, how could this happen?
Yeah, I mean, and with that said, everything is already politics all the time. So,
well, that's the thing. Yeah, everything is politics, and there. It's not like the new show is not going to have politics. There will be politics.
oh yeah, there definitely will be,
Yes.
and there's no way we can't because I mean, it's in both Austin and I. It's in our DNA.
Yeah, exactly. So that's not going to stop. But what I'm hoping is that it's a little more detached from like just the current stories.
I'm looking forward to the variety.
Yeah.
You know, like talking about the same news stories, but well, not the same news stories, but like political news, which I consider like just one kind of thing. Getting away from that and being able to like, hey, Austin, I don't want to talk about politics. Say, okay,
Yeah.
we don't have to. We can talk about this scientific achievement that's helping cure disease, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? And then we could also continue to have guys like Tom Prigg on. We can get Sarah Smith back on for that.
Who I'm pretty sure has her own podcast now.
I did see that.
Yeah.
I did see that. So, you know, maybe we'll definitely be in touch.
Yeah.
So like I'm looking forward to being able to keep that aspect because I've always loved doing that.
Yeah.
And being able to just be like, let's talk about something different.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm also hoping it allows us to like maybe we'll be able to record an episode or two in a week.
Oh
and then
yes, that's right,
stockpile
because it's
them.
not time based.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so then there won't be missed weeks anymore.
Right.
And
now
then-
that like
and
let's
then
also
when-
be
When
go
we
ahead.
bunch it up like that, it'll also give us more time to work on the other shows that we want
Yeah,
to do.
exactly. And let's be completely honest. 2019 has not been a good year for either one of us. In certain ways, it has been.
Yeah, in certain ways, it's weird because I have very mixed feelings. In certain ways, it
Yeah.
has been. In certain ways, it's been very difficult.
For me, like this whole year's been trash, but it's getting better now.
Yeah.
So it's a kind of a weird thing to be like, hey, now that I'm settled down and everything's kind of back to normal, now we're ending the show. But I'm looking forward in a way to kind of closing this chapter and opening up a new one.
Yeah, me too.
2 years is still like the longest job I've held in a long time. So, I just left my other job, so that holds true.
But I don't know. I feel like people should think of it less. Not so much that the show's ending. It's just that like what's his
advancing?
name? Well, like Thomas Smith had, was it Atheistically Speaking or something like that?
No.
And then it changed to Serious Inquiries Only when he wanted
Sure.
to stop just talking about atheism.
Right.
And this is similar to that. It's like it's not, and I want to do something that's not quite so mean spirited either. 'Cause
Yeah.
that was the whole point. Like even the title of the show was the whole point. Like everything was just, it was very snarky and angry.
This was our outlet to rant.
Yeah.
Because like when we both decided we were going to do this show, Trump had just won the election and we were pissed off.
Very
So
bad,
we did
yeah.
this show based off of nothing but anger. And as the years go on, it's gotten worse and we've just gotten angrier.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's also a very good idea.
Yeah. So I thought it was time to step back from that. So I think, but I'm really excited to see what happens.
Yeah, me
I'm
too.
also excited to try to pick out another title.
Yeah.
We had a hell of a time the last time we tried.
Yeah, we did. And what ended up happening is we decided to just go and listen to music.
Yeah.
And it was in that you picked Frank Zappa, and then
Yeah.
we were looking through the song titles because his song titles are like really funky
They
and
are
weird.
funny, yeah.
And we're like, "Tum all over."
Yeah, it's a good one.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So yeah, by the way, if you didn't know, and if you for some reason thought that it was like a hidden secret, yeah, it is based off the Frank Zappa song.
We've said it many times, but yes, it is.
I know,
Yeah.
but you never know.
Yeah. But
I got nothing. I don't think I got anything else.
yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So yeah, so there'll be a new show.
Yeah,
New
and we'll
music,
keep you
new
updated.
everything.
We'll keep the Double Over Twitter page on and open. So we'll have.
Oh yeah, I
updates
plan on
that.
keeping that open forever.
Yeah, and
And
we'll
I
just
think
change
I'll
the name
just-
and stuff.
Yeah, I think I'll just take podcast out of the title.
Sure.
And that's
Listen,
because that'll be our outlet
Baby
for
steps.
all of the
Yeah.
the crazy stuff we want to say on Twitter.
True. Yeah, we
So I
still need
think
that. We still need that.
My idea is to make a second account for the new show because I don't think the new show is going to have all the crazy fun tweets that we had with the old
yeah.
one. But I want
Yeah.
to keep the old account to make all the crazy fun tweets.
Of course, yeah. Double Over's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess the last thing I want to say before we end it, thank you
Yeah.
Thank you to everybody who stood with us. A lot of you that we keep in touch with have been listening to us speak for over 2 years now, or pretty damn close to it.
Yeah.
So thank you. I don't know how or why you would do that. There's even crazier people out there who gave us money on Patreon.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Again, don't know why. But seriously, it's been a lot of fun. And thank you for those who support us this entire time. If you end up listening to our new project and that's not your thing and you just want to stick with Dumb All Over and end it there, we understand.
Yep, totally.
We hope that you do listen to our new project when that comes out. There's a lot of opportunity for that, and it'll be fresh and all that. So I hope you follow us. But if not, thank you we enjoyed the ride.
We did, yeah. It was great.
So those are my final thoughts. Do you have anything to add?
No, just that. Yeah, it's been a good time, and I hope everybody gives the new show a chance, and we'll see what happens.
All right. For the last time,
Bernie
I guess
2020.
Bernie 2020. That's not the last time. You'll hear us say that again. But I guess for the last time, thank you, and we'll see you soon.
Yep. And pre-recorded Tom can do
Take
this
it away.
one more time.
Well, yeah. Don't listen to pre-recorded Tom. It's pretty much useless by now. It's like, why would I follow you there now?
Yeah.
You're leaving.
Yeah.
All right. See you, everybody. Once again, thank you so much for listening. As always, you can find us on Spreaker.com/DumbleOverPod. We're also available on iTunes. Just look up DumbleOverPod. We are on all the social medias, starting with Twitter @DumbleOverPod, Facebook @DumbleOverPod, and of course, there's Instagram. And you guessed it, it's @DumbleOverPod. We are also on Patreon, so check out our Patreon. At patreon.com/DumbleOverPod. And if you're interested in buying some merch with some special logos, you can check that out at tpublic.com/user/DumbleOverPod. Thank you, and we'll talk to you next week.
Trust me, I'm like a smart person.